Hello, my YouTube friend. So I've been watching my own videos, and then I realized I have ads. I'm not monetized. I forgot YouTube was going to do that. I feel kind of cheated. Like, I should talk about whatever I want. And, oh wait, I can, because I'm technically not monetized. And if say that Jason plays a copyrighted song, not my problem. I don't just share ad revenue. If I want to talk about, I don't know, whatever's in the news, you know, the strange things I've heard, because I do listen to a lot of news, I should be able to do that. Okay, so let's think of something to talk about. Oh, it's been raining, like nonstop. This is a hat that I haven't had in a bag, and then made it to the truck. Okay, so let's see, what's in the news? Oh, you want to talk about politics? No, nobody wants to talk about politics. Oh, every time there's an election, since I don't really vote anymore, because I really don't want to validate the system any more than I already have. I feel bad that I used to be I'll pick a party. No, I usually ask, so who are you voting for? And as soon as they get ready to tell me who they're voting for and all about it, I ask them, the commie or the Nazi? Then they look confused. I have to think about it. And they'll ask, which one's which? I don't know, but they're both fascists. Alright, so nobody likes politics. And if you ever want to end a political debate, say at the bar, break out in your best Sarah Palin accent and tell a joke. Every grown man will cry, cover his ears, like nails down chalkboard. You tell a bad joke. Anyway, so nobody likes politics. We could talk about the weather, right? Climate change. I don't know if it's a hoax or not, but the stupid stuff they're coming up with to quote fix it, I don't think they understand the problem. So we can't talk about that. Because, well, I don't know anything about it. Oh, look, that's a funny sounding horn. Alright, so we could talk about the news. Somebody once accused me of liking economics, so we could talk about that. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about economics. When they say this is going to be a cold, dark winter, I think they're right. But not why you think it is. Oh, okay, everybody was talking about the, no, we can talk about the Wu flu too. Because somebody said it was a black swan event. And somebody else said, well, we've always been predicting a pandemic or a plandemic or a scamdemic or whatever you want to call it. You know, Captain Trips. We've been making movies about this stuff forever. Or some kind of worldwide emergency, like something's crashing into the planet, or an EMP pulse, or whatever they call those electromagnetic flares. And we've been talking about doing that for a long time. Oh my goodness, they have so many movies like that, the zombie movies, the Captain Trips. So that's not, and we actually have, most people had protocols, things that they would do, statewide, nationwide, towns, things that they would do to minimize or deal with whatever emergency, whether it's a virus, or a tornado goes through town, or ice, yeah, and your town's without power for 2 weeks. But 15 days turn into, what, 2 years? So how many days is that? Past the 15-day mark? No, the black swan wasn't the virus. I think they called it a black rhino. I don't know why they picked what animal. As in, it was predictable. Just this time it was black, or whatever. Because everybody knows what a rhino's going to do. No, I think the black swan event, one guy was pointing this out, was actually the overreaction by governments. Like, each dictator-in-chief was trying to outdo the other totalitarian regime. Like, I think it started with China. Remember, they realized that China was locking down that bad. It's like they were trying to outdo them. They were literally closing down and destroying their own country's economies. And every modern world did this. Woohoo, red light. So, who was it? It wasn't the World Health Organization. It was one of the UN's groups. I can't think who it was. Anyways, they got together and they calculated how many people would starve to death if the countries closed down their economies. There's like double who would die of the flu. So they went ahead and closed down the economies anyways. And now, let's see. So President Pu Jinping, whatever, got butthurt about something the Aussies said, so they stopped taking imports. I don't think they were taking imports for another reason, and that's why they said that. Right? So now they're out of coal, and they can't. Nobody will sell them coal now. I think they weren't mining it. Nobody will sell it to them because they were locked down. Everybody, even the penal colony was locked down, like a penal colony. I think they still are. So, we haven't heard about India in a while. Are they still having a? And then now China's trying to ship us stuff, and it's getting stuck up at the ports. And then they tell us because of Taiwan, and they're mad at us, they're gonna stop shipping stuff. And then I heard that somebody said there were some internal memos going around China that actually they're getting ready for another lockdown, for another Wu flu incident, or CCP virus, or the uncommon common cold is now really, really common now. It's like a flu that's contagious as a cold. So, when I call it a flu or a cold, but whatever, it's a cold technically. So, and then Europe's having energy issues. I heard that in the news. This is what I do all weekend, catch up on the news, right? So they're not a month ahead, they're a day behind, and $1 short. And let's see, Brazil doesn't want to sell, was it Brazil? Or somebody in South America wasn't selling their sorghum to whoever was that was desperate for it, because I can't remember why. And then they start talking about the United States. And we had been, thanks to the orange man, we were we got ahead. You can't blame Biden for us getting behind, because there was literally a Texas freeze. It does happen. But now we're behind on our whatever gas. What did I get again? I swear if it isn't hot sauce coffee, it's grease. Anyways, so America's behind. The phone's gonna start getting bumpy. Hopefully soon. So I'm listening to this in the news, right? And I'm looking at stormy weather ahead of me, and I'm thinking back to my home time. I was off for 4 days. I thought one day to get the part. Football. One day to get the part. One day to put it in. I'm back on the road. Usual home time. There's the loading. No, it was 4 days to get the loaner truck. Right. And a month to get the part. And, well, I have extra 50 gallons of fuel. I really am enjoying that, because fuel's gone from like, you're lucky to find it for 3 to now it's at 4. If you find it for 3 something, you're doing good. Under 3.5, you're doing really good. But anyways, I was thinking about all that home time, and yeah, I think we're going to talk about Jason. This guy procrastinates, and I was just thinking, I'm so glad he finally got around to finishing this wood stove. It's been like a dozen years, half a dozen years sitting out in the carport, or the garage, wherever that. And then he gets the family together, and we drag this thing in to the living room and set it up almost done. It was missing a part. He like decided he wanted to do it different, whatever. So I was sitting there for another half dozen years. We threw a doily over it, called an antique, that stuff on top of it. It basically disappeared and stuff. And all of a sudden, it's just a good idea all of a sudden to get stuff done. Out of the blue, dozen years, he decides now's the time to get stuff done. And he spent all weekend collecting firewood. Storm rolls through, he goes, gets a dead tree. Storm rolls through, he goes, gets another dead tree. I'm like, how much firewood have you got? Well, there's another one I'm thinking about getting, because the storm that just came through, because today's Wednesday, so there's a storm that came through on Sunday, and now it's up here on Monday, Tuesday, kind of here, I think yesterday, Tuesday, so it was here this morning. in Iowa. Or maybe it's another one. There's just lines and lines and lines of storms. And of course they're knocking down trees. And I remember this uncanny thing that Jason can do. He knows things. Or has timing. I don't know who procrastinates worse. Him, my mom, or the bonus child. But between the three of them, not me. It just drives me crazy, right? They procrastinate so bad. You know, he gets around to it. Yeah, last time that happened, what was it? Oh, I had just gotten a divorce. Now this isn't the dad knows stuff. Like your dad's always right. Again. No, this is more something else. I'm getting divorced. I have a crazy ex. And he does crazy ex things, like bug me and my family. You know, I hardly have any friends left, because when you get a divorce, you kind of lose a lot of your friends too. Anyways, so like 3 months go by, I think it was, we hadn't heard hide nor hair from him. And Jason's still trying to tell me I should get a shotgun. Something. I'm like, we haven't seen him in 3 months. But out of the blue, Jason's dragging me down to the pawn shop. Surprise, just to get a shotgun. I almost bought the shotgun. Oops. Spam. I'm not the edible kind. Anyway, so I almost bought the shotgun. I had the shells picked out, the slugs, the buckshot. They had decided on what order to put these shots in. I almost bought it. Almost brought it home. Almost. 3 days later, at 3 a.m., crazy's coming through the front door. Wish I had a shotgun. It would have really saved us some headache. Oh, jeez. I remember. Wasn't this last ice storm? It wasn't the one before that. I think it was before the first Biden administration. How long ago was that? I don't remember who was president before Biden. Biden and Obama, whatever. Those guys. There was an ice storm that lasted, I think, like a week in Tulsa. And my house was the only house on this power line. So I'm without power for 2 weeks. First one to lose power, last one to get it back. And Jason had said that summer we need to get a working generator. We didn't. We lost everything in the fridge, everything in the freezer. I was trying to feed the neighborhood, get this stuff eaten. And it just, oh, I was so mad. A working generator with a little bit of gas would have saved that food. Well, we had a gas stove and gas floor furnace, not central heating and air, so we didn't have to worry about that. So we had a cowboy coffee pot, basically just don't use a microwave. Who can cook without a microwave? Do you know anybody? I just use hot water. So if you know Jason, I think I know like 2 people have known him longer than me. The redhead and Uncle Randy. So they probably can vouch for this. Jason just has great timing. All of a sudden it's important to get something. It's important, don't get me wrong. It's been important to get this wood stove hooked up for a dozen years or more. But all of a sudden it was urgent. And the timing was just right. We knocked out so many to-do lists. He got more of those lights. Not the stupid solar lights that don't last the whole season. No, he got some lights. We went to Lowe's. Pay off the credit card. Max it back out. Yay. We got a bunch of stuff. Eventually I got tired of recording, but you could see on my previous video, there's so many video dumps. And the big finale was the wood stove just going. And so I'm listening to the news. I'm thinking about he's finally got done procrastinating and finished this wood stove. And wait a minute. I was listening to the news, and I'm thrilled pickled pink. Is that a thing? Pickled pink. Tickled pink, or is it pickled pink? Pickled green and tickled pink. There we go. He's finally got this wood stove done, and it works. He's just like taking a notion to drag logs back to the house and need to be split. He's getting more wedges and. Yeah, there you go. Not buying the wood, he's going and getting it. The Parks Department will sometimes clear the trail and just put the wood over to the side and just leave it there. I was like, did anybody ever get that? Are you out there collecting that? And then there's trees that have died. Now the foliage is coming off of them. And you really tell they're dead. It's like, this is the reason why I don't walk on the bicycle trail on a windy day. I know how many dead limbs are up there. How many widowmakers there are. Still got the red light. Anyways, so he's been doing that. I was like, man. So I guess the moral of this video is, if you have been procrastinating on something, now's a good time to get around to it. I mean, whatever it is, something. I think I'm going to clean out my truck. Now they know what I actually do and don't use, because there's so much stuff on my international. And I'm going to get myself a little actual bug home bin bag kind of thing. I mean, yeah, I'm not taking my blanket into the woods. Anyways, so if you've been procrastinating, the whole point of this video, and probably some other videos where I talk to you, is stop procrastinating. Get that whatever done. If it's the wood stove, the fall garden, spring garden, perennials. We had a spring frost that didn't, well, it took out the tassels on the trees and they didn't make nuts. But he's been working on propagating more trees. Pecan trees are being real sticklers. They'll grow from nuts, but he wants vegetative, or how do I say, treated, where it comes from the tree itself. And the hazelnuts are making volunteers. Even the one that was planted in a bad place and it's died. He's like, oh baby, rescue it. Move it somewhere nicer. So eventually, I'll have no grass. I'll have no stickers. Oh, especially stickers. I was just interested in getting rid of the stickers. And he's like, no. Yeah. Why don't people plant more perennials? You can eat them. Or things that replant themselves like with vigors. Yeah, so if you've been procrastinating, wow, that's almost okay. Anyways, that's been long enough, my YouTube friend. If you've been procrastinating, get around to it. Now I definitely think it's time to get whatever done and loose ends tied up. Yeah, because something's going on. Anyways, and keep your... Okay, and I know you can watch so much news that you become not just informed, but misinformed. But you're not looking for the who did what to who. You're looking for the overall picture. I think the overall picture... I think the overall picture is... Okay, like, if you look at some countries that have a collapsed economy, or that over-centralized planned economy that doesn't seem to be working very well, and is in the process of collapsing. Imagine the whole world. These quote Western, modern countries, you know, collapse. The Soviet Union learned their lesson. Just saying. In China, it grew too fast, and they made as much debt as America did in like half the time. So their increase faster, their decline rougher. And how do we know where? When Rome fell, there were still people clamoring to be quote Romans. So. You gotta realize the country's not like when you're on the 4th of July celebrating the independence. You know, that country is pretty much over. There's nothing out here, dog. Especially for dogs. We'll stop at that rest area. A really nice one. Man, I'm hungry. Look at all that food go by. Sorry, pictures. Hi, Papa. Hi, ball boogers. Oh, right. Where was I? The decline of the whole world's economy. It's so intertwined, and it was so over leveraged. I mean, try to think of a country that's not over leveraged. And they're usually a dingy country that keeps themselves. Or has something, I don't know, unique. I don't know. I'm trying to think. If you weren't going to be in a Western country, where would you go? I don't think half the country, half the world is under mass psychosis. There's always a terrorist on every corner. Your neighbor's out to get you. Are they a Trumper? Are they a leftist? Both have their boogeyman, and both are the boogeyman. And then every country has this problem. Right. And half the world thinks if you catch the Wu flu, 50-50, you're going to the hospital. No, I think it's like 3%. And it's usually like, take some cold medicine, go home, sleep it off, because you want to. Oh yeah. Everybody I know has caught it. It's like catching the world's worst flu. And then there's the complications from that. And that's what gets them. It's like a flu pandemic, but it's as contagious as a cold. So I'm not looking to get it. I like my sense of taste. So I've been pretty good at avoiding people because truck drivers, everybody avoids us anyways. So it's been like 20 minutes on a speech of watch the news and stop procrastinating. Yeah, I think that's all to say. Stop procrastinating. Let's see here. Here's another shot of the weather. Let's see, I'm in Ankeny. And I can't tell which way the clouds are going. Oh, the wrong way, I think. But you see what I mean by, I'm hungry. Sandwiches, pizza, salads. Advertisement works. Anyways, let me pick you up here. Here's your football. Plop. Smell you later, my YouTube friend.